Shantanu had said that valuations were getting a little more reasonable on the Q2 call. Do you think this is reasonable?
Well, I think we should just understand what Dee pointed out, which is this is was a significant competitive threat to Adobe. You know, the design factor in everyday applications and enterprise applications cannot be understated. When we look at the number of designers that now are a part of product teams, that ratio of designers is increasing. It shows the fact that design really matters. In fact, you could argue design is table stakes. And the collaborative nature of Figma really speaks to the way that this younger generation of product designers like to work. Very collaborative. We saw significant tailwinds to this product during the pandemic. In fact, when you look at the design community that was polled, maybe a third of people were using Figma after the pandemic. 2/3 were using Figma. So this was a significant threat that I don't think can be understated. Now, Dee also pointed out the Microsoft factor and the regulatory aspect of Activision. Regulators are going to take a look at this one too, because this is really going to consolidate a lot of the people that are building products that are design related.
But it doesn't sound like you think Adobe had much choice other than to close this deal.
I don't think they really had a choice. I think this was very much both a defensive move, but also an eye towards this trend where design rules and design matters. The best products that are available, whether it's for consumers or enterprise, have the most elegant design. It's table stakes.
Lo, good morning. Yeah, it's defensive, but it's also more than that, isn't it? Because you've got some Adobe products now, many of them across Creative Cloud, that have collaboration features built into them. They've been doing these updates where you can, share versions of a product with your team. But Figma has managed to put that productivity experience and that team experience more built into the interface, so it's a place where people who aren't design-centric felt more comfortable. If Adobe can expand its enterprise share there, beyond designers, but as part of the design process, that's different from what they've had with documents, with Acrobat, that's different from certainly what they've had in marketing, and their addressable market gets quite a bit larger, doesn't it?
Yeah, John, this is something that your comment really speaks to, I think, going all the way back to when this company was founded, maybe over 5 years ago. One of my good friends, Adam Nash, who's the best product person that I know, we worked together at eBay. He was one of the early investors. Congrats to him, by the way. And what he pointed out was that everyone was missing the fact that people thought the design community was small. In fact, if you look statistically, it probably only showed there were about 100,000 designers in the workforce at that time. But what everyone missed was this aspect that was just brought up on your point, which is that the product Figma is so simple to use, it brings in people that are not designers as well. So from the initial ideation of a product to the first design, to then handing that off to the engineers, to then all of the people that need to be involved in selling that product, everyone can get involved in that process collaboratively over the cloud, so you don't have any issues with trying to determine, like, okay, which version am I on? You don't have to download any software and install it on your laptop. It's, these products that Adobe typically uses, they're actually very difficult for people that are not designers to use. So the collaborative nature, I think, to your point, actually expands the market where everyone can become a designer.
So what does this mean for Asana and Atlassian, which are doing similar things, software for teams, productivity software for teams? What does it mean for larger players like Microsoft and Salesforce, Microsoft with Teams, Salesforce now with Slack, that would like some of that design conversation happening within their environments?
Yeah, I think when we look at the process of designing products, it's more design-centric. And when we think about Slack, and Figma allows integration of Slack, there's this aspect of collaboration that is specific to this use case. And so I think, is there room for some of these other products to exist, some of them to incorporate in? Absolutely. But what Figma nailed is the design of the product for design. And I think it's going to be very difficult for another product that was built for the ground up, for another use case, to try to encroach on their territory.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.